Since I can remember, we have always lived in this village. It stank of a putrid smell due to the deadly swamp that encircles the village. There is only one way in and out. Crocodiles and all manner of beasts live in the waters to poisonous white flowers lining the edges. Beautiful and inviting in the fragrance of sunshine, butterflies and places unknown. Some say it was planted. Others say it's naturally occurring. Basically, everything in this place will kill you if you're not careful. Mama tells me as long as we keep faith and follow the rules, we will be safe. Every year a ceremony is held where the elders go forth to the bog. No one knows what happens, but in this journey one is always lost or killed by the marshlands. It's almost as if it's alive as we are. I dreaded the fate of those who didn't return home. Underneath the terror was a curiosity of how exactly they died. We were kept ignorant. Even as children, my friends and I thought something horrifying dwelled there if we forsake our own in such a place. Even going to town was full of peril, and we only left once a month for supplies. My father was taken by swamp during a ceremony, and we mourned him. Since his death, I have only had questions. What killed him? Why? What is this important ritual about? It protects, but how? We live in a place no one already wants to go. The sun rarely even visits. When my friends and I turned 18, Ash was selected for the rite. His parents were proud, but they looked profoundly saddened. My heart sank when I watched his parents' faces. They knew something would happen. The adults had to know. I'll follow them with a weapon in hand and the determination to find out the answers I so desperately needed. Ash seemed happy. He was going to become part of something bigger and finally be realized as an adult. This was his rite of passage. Didn't even consider something remotely sinister could be going on. He simply assumed I was jealous. How could I be? Did he forget all about what could be in the swamp? There was a time I might have been, but joy was replaced with suspension over the elders. I followed the procession in the dark, using my eyes and their torchlight to lead the way. It was a cold night with no stars, not even a moon, just pure darkness. Out of sheer bad luck, I slightly slipped. The lanterns gave off enough light to see what I stepped on. A perfectly preserved body, this hellhole had been full of the dead the whole time. Did the swamp take them all? Why did they have no skin now? They are full of puncture wounds. How did they die? I had stopped dwelling on morbid thoughts and caught up to a clearing. I never knew such a place existed, litter with human bones spanning the expanse of the glade. My eyes widened in object horror of the numerous skulls. Snapping me out of my thoughts was the conversation. Thanking my friend for his sacrifice, the green god would be appeased. His parents would be so proud. Ash, run! Run, Ash! I screamed, consequences be damned. Before he could even register my words, a larger vine grabbed at his legs as he begged for his life. I burst through the bushes and rushed to my friend, trying to rip him from the vine. It had grown thorns, digging deep into his legs. I pulled against the force of this plant, but it was growing in strength. Soon, it began to throw us both around in a rain of blood. The vines ascend higher, covering his torso. As if a boa, it began to coil tighter and tighter around Ash, encasing him in spikes. I heard only a gurgling cry, only once. At this point I was dropped to the ground, still holding Ash's hand. His blood splattered all over my face. It unfurled, dropping a skinless body, only muscle and bone. It stripped the flesh right off him. The elders prayed with joy as I sobbed, covered in gore. Ash was gone. They all knew they all are complicit in these murders. They knew what happened to my dad. They led victims out in the name of this abomination. This village is cursed. We are all damned. It's so painful, Dad exclaimed. He had fallen down the stairs a day ago and had been struggling to walk ever since. As a 15-year-old, I sat there watching it all unfold, feeling helpless. I wished I could do something to alleviate my dad's pain, but I couldn't. A week prior, I overheard Mom discussing the intense pain she endured while giving birth to 3 children. She also mentioned her recent fracture, explaining how even the simple act of lifting her leg had become a challenge. I was sad and angry over myself for not being able to do anything. I hate pain. I hate sufferings. 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 I kept saying I hate sufferings. I kept saying this till Mom arrived in my room. I stopped right there. It was midnight. Dad was working on his laptop. I wasn't sleepy since I was disturbed by what Mom and Dad had said. I asked Dad, "Hey Dad, why is there so much pain and suffering people have to go through in life?" "Son, life is but itself a suffering. Without suffering, there is no life. The end of all sufferings is death, however," said Dad. In the morning, I went to school. En route to school, I saw numerous people, some of whom were in agony. I was very angry seeing that. In my school, there was a guy whose name was John. John was oftentimes bullied by the bad guys. Today also, just as I entered the classroom, John was being slapped by 3 bullies. I was angry, although I couldn't do anything as usual. Later on, John told me that he's tired of all this now. He's suffering a lot. He wants this to end. He wanted to punish the bullies. It's then I remember Dad saying, "The end of all sufferings is death." I kept repeating this and killed John. He was begging me to not do what I was doing, though I said, "Don't worry, John, I'm freeing you of all sufferings. I shall freeing you of all sufferings. I shall free everyone of all sufferings." And on I went, killing all those who I saw suffering. I killed my family eventually, and neighbors too. I killed only those who were suffering. Though despite this, the police arrested me. I told them I'm doing social service. I'm helping people. I told them what Dad had told me. Death is the end of all sufferings. Order. Order. Please maintain silence, the judge commanded as he sentenced my friend Robert to life imprisonment for the murder of his neighbor, Jacob. Tears streamed down Robert's face as he desperately pleaded, "No, sir, I didn't do it. Please, you know I'm innocent. Why are you doing this to me?" The judge looked at him sternly and retorted, "What?" "I swear, it's not me." Robert's voice quivered. With a dismissive tone, the judge responded, "Yes, we know it's you." "Shut up, you criminal. It's astonishing how easily individuals like you deny their guilt. You're an idiot." "Carla, make sure this fool is hanged until he's completely dead. And I expect the same from the one who carries out the execution," the judge ordered Carla, his frustration palpable. "Sir, the hanging mechanism is jammed. The lever isn't functioning," Carla informed him. no worries. Just hang him by the fan. We have one in the adjacent room. He's getting hanged one way or another, the judge declared nonchalantly. Applauds. The crowd applauded the judge's stern determination. Thank you, my people. I stand for the truth. It's my duty to serve justice until my last breath, and I'll always uphold that responsibility. The judge asserted, his words eliciting admiration. Interrupting, I pleaded. Sir, please allow me to accompany Robert to his final moments. Please. The judge hesitated, then agreed. All right. Carla, take this person with you. He deserves the chance to say his final goodbye to his dear friend and witness the consequences of criminal actions. Maybe it'll deter him from ever committing a crime. Understood, sir, Carla acknowledged. Tears poured from Robert's eyes, his cries reverberating in the room. Abruptly, he yelled, "You imbecile asshole!" His voice choked with emotions. The hangman led Robert towards the adjacent room where an ordinary setup awaited them. A fan and 2 chairs placed near the door. With professional precision, the hangman secured the rope to the fan and positioned Robert on the chair. Just as the hangman was about to remove the chair, Robert's tearful voice pierced the air. "You moron, I should have never befriended you. My mother warned me against it, but I dismissed her concerns. She told me about your multiple personality disorder, but I brushed it aside. Idiot, you're the hangman, the judge, Carla, all rolled into one. You even killed Jacob." The hangman proceeded to take away the chair, and Robert's life was extinguished moments later. Little did I know, he had lost his grip on sanity. He couldn't see me, the hangman, the judge, or Carla. In the mirror placed beneath the ventilation, my reflection was the sole presence. The others had already left. On that particular day, I ventured to the beach alone, seeking solace amidst the gentle embrace of the wind. The sun was already beginning its descent, and the majority of beachgoers had departed, leaving only a handful behind. I found myself reluctant to leave. The tranquil atmosphere offered a sense of contentment that I had rarely experienced, even in the comfort of my own home. As the day waned, 3 teenage boys, the last of the beach's occupants, abandoned a castle they had laboriously constructed. One of them remarked, and the spirit must have departed by now, leaving me perplexed. Soon, I became the sole occupant of the beach. Minutes later, piercing screams pierced the air, originating from the sea. The day's haze obscured the surroundings, making it challenging to identify the source of distress. Instinctively, I headed towards the water, where I spotted a fisherman some distance away, urgently calling for aid. As both an adept swimmer and someone inherently inclined to assist, I swam toward his boat. The vessel appeared to be on the brink of sinking, likely due to a breach below its waterline. However, as my hand clasped onto his, an uncanny sensation enveloped me. In a matter of moments, my pleas for help echoed across the water. Despite my cries, no saviors emerged on the horizon. The clamor persisted, and as I gazed upon the fragmented piece of glass aboard the boat, I was confronted with an inexplicable sight. The reflection staring back at me was not my own. Instead, it bore the likeness of the distressed fisherman. Though my thoughts, emotions, and self-awareness remained intact, the mirror revealed a visage that was not mine. A month has passed since that bewildering occurrence, and I find myself trapped within this surreal predicament, forever trapped in the fisherman's form and endlessly summoning help. However, a glimmer of hope has emerged. A young boy has finally perceived my plight and is approaching me.